Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a tutorial on this orange and cranberry glitter half cut crease, and I use the Tati Beauty palette. This is actually round 2. You guys know that last week I did a orange monochromatic glitter cut crease, and if you guys have not seen that video, it's pretty detailed and in depth in terms of like blending and, you know, application, a lot of tips and tricks there. So I'll go ahead and link that in the description box below. You guys can check that out. But this is the palette. I'm sure you guys have all seen this by now. So yeah, this is round 2. And I have to be honest, this is like a whole lot of makeup for me. I mean, this is like a lot going on the eyes with the false eyelashes. And then I kind of smoked my lower lash line down a little bit lower and did some kind of tight lining in there and some, you know, just did like the waterline. So yeah, this is like a lot for me and it's pretty intense. But I have to say, I absolutely love how it came out. And again, these shadows here, I've been playing with this palette for about a week. It's just a dream to blend. I mean, not only does it blend effortlessly, but the shades just are molten into each other. Like it just melts. Like, oh, was just an effortless thing all the way through. You guys will see that throughout this video. But I want to show you guys a couple new things that I got that we're going to be playing with in the upcoming future. Check this out. Like this packaging, like, oh, like, hello, this is the new Morphe holiday collection, and it comes with this plastic sheet in here that lists, you know, the shade names and then the artists that created each of the sections. So there's 4 of them that put this together, but the only other palette that I have of this size is the 39A. So yeah, this is going to be fun to kind of hold up and show you guys. But yeah, this whole row right here, this middle section right here, this is what I was most excited about. And yes, you do have some pops of color here, but for the most part, this is just a beautiful neutral bronzy palette. And I'm super happy that they came out with this. I love how they did it. I can't say enough. Like I had to get this like immediately. So yeah, I'm super happy at how they did this. I'm glad that it's not like, you know, 39 shades of like bright colors, because I probably would not have gotten that. So, yes, okay, and let's see, I got my BoxyCharm, so I'm probably going to do a BoxyCharm video, and then I picked this palette up. This is, I think it's the Winter Glam. I got it on the Sephora website. Looks like this. I picked this up during the Rouge event because honestly, there wasn't anything else that I wanted to have. So, okay, that's it. Want to keep this video short because this video as well is kind of, you know, in depth and some tips and tricks in there. So I want to welcome you. If you guys are new and this is your first time at my channel, welcome to this video on my channel. My name is Lauren Jade. I'm 57. I have mature, crepey, wrinkly skin with hooded eyes that are slightly downturned. And even though we all have different eye shapes and different levels of hoodedness, I'm hoping you guys can pick up some tips and tricks, even if you have to kind of tweak it a little bit, because I do things a little bit differently on my channel, just because the cookie cutter one size fits all YouTube tutorial doesn't really work for me or my eye shape. So I mix things up a little bit and just do it a little bit differently than, you know, what you see. I really can't go into the crease with a large fluffy brush and swashbuckle all that color around because I don't have a crease, and a large fluffy brush and swashbuckling all that color is just going to be like a mess. So do things a tiny bit differently here. So that's it. Want to keep this super short. If you guys are new, I would love to have you join me. Please hit the subscribe button and that notification bell right next to it. That way YouTube notifies you each and every time I upload. And yes, so without further ado, if you guys want to see how I created this orange and cranberry glitter half cut crease, then just keep watching and let's get right into this tutorial. Since we're going to be working with the glitter, I'm going to go ahead and grab some translucent powder here. You just never know when you're dealing with this glitter. I always like to kind of protect my area. Plus, I like to do a little under eye baking. It really kind of just brightens up this whole area underneath here. And I'm using a mixture of the RCMA. This is the no color, just regular white translucent powder, and this is the Ben Nye Luxury Banana Powder. So I kind of mix those two together and just kind of get a little custom blend here. All right, so I already went ahead and I primed my eyes, and I've already set this primer. I used a little bit of this shade. This is the Makeup Geeks Peach Smoothie, and I just kind of tapped this right into my socket area. It's going to be kind of a nice little halo shade over and above that first transition shade that I'm going to use. So I've kind of said bye-bye to the old translucent powder setting method. I never liked that. I always felt like that was kind of half-baked, but you know, it's one of those, you know, YouTube cookie cutter, one size fits all, you know, tutorial method that's kind of going around. So that's kind of just like what I did, but I've kind of moved on, and I've kind of, oh, I got a hair here, but I've kind of picked up the P. Louise method of setting the primer, which I absolutely love her brushes and her base, by the way. I got that straight from London. I had ordered it. I just grabbed this, I think this is Vanilla Bean from Makeup Geek. It's this bone color shade, and I'm just placing that right on this brow bone and just kind of dragging a little bit down just to kind of flirt with the edges of that peach smoothie shade. Okay, I'm gonna grab, and normally you guys know I live and die by grabbing the Hoola bronzer, because that's usually what I always bronze my crease and kind of contour and warm up that socket with. But today I'm going to use my Guerlain Terracotta. This is in the shade Light, just because it has a really nice light peachy kind of vibe to it, and I just think it'll mesh really well with the overall look. And I'm just going to mainly focus this on this inner corner, just like how I usually do with the bronzer. That inner corner shading, I like to just really shade that and kind of brush it up to the brow and take it into the bridge of the nose. It just really softens that whole area, and I just love it. I love how it looks. So that is what I'm gonna do. All right, so we're gonna do round 2 with this, because I promised you guys last week we were gonna do an orange and cranberry look, and that is what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna grab this shade again now, because this shade, this orange, is gonna kind of be like a halo, or the transition, I guess, area, if you will, to this berry that I'm gonna use to do a wing, and also to kind of deepen up that little outer section here. So I'm gonna start with the Story shade, and I'm gonna use a Sigma E32. This is the, I think it is, yes, it's an E32 exact blend, and I'm just going to kind of put this, I'm gonna kind of lay this down here really, and just kind of in the shape that I want. It's almost like kind of like this is going to be like a little fake crease. I'm really just getting in here into the socket here, and I want to take this up a little bit higher. I'm going to kind of start out here, my little plug and play area, which is the softest part of, like right where you can kind of push in your crease right here. That little soft area right there, that's kind of usually in this outer corner. I don't go all the way to the end, but you know, about a quarter of the way in is usually where I kind of start, because I want everything to be lifted up. I want to lift all of these shadows so everything kind of goes this way, kind of gives that little eye lift. So I'm just going to pat this on here, just kind of, and I'm going to take it a little bit higher up towards the brow bone. And then I'm going to fade in whatever is kind of out here. I'm just going to kind of really get in there and hollow out that inner socket right here, and just kind of drag this across. I want to keep this whole inner portion here nice and light and bright, and kind of create the illusion that, you know, I got more lid space than I actually have, and also create the illusion that this section here is really open and light and bright. So that's what I'm gonna do. So that's kind of the shape that I'm going for with this. And then I'm gonna grab a M433 from Morphe and just kind of further blend out these edges up here. I'm just gonna kind of, I don't want to disturb like this whole dark color down here because I really want that to kind of be like that depth to kind of give the illusion of a actual fake crease, or a real crease, but it's actually the fake crease. So I'm just going to kind of lightly go over these edges here and hug the socket here and just kind of pull this out, but I'm also gonna kind of pull the shadows up because I want to be able to see these shadows right here when my eyes are open. And then I'm gonna kind of go upwards at an angle here. Just kind of follow my socket here, and I'm gonna kind of drag this across. I'm gonna pick up a tiny, tiny bit more, and I'm just going to kind of go out here just to kind of deepen. And then I'm going to go in here just to kind of really define that inner socket here, just to give myself a little bit of shape. And then I'm going to just kind of blend the edges out. So for me, you know, everybody always gets so, you know, hung up on, you know, blending, and, you know, blend some more. And if you don't know what to do, blend more, blend your life away, blend. It's all blending. It's nothing but blending. It's just good blending. All it is blending. Well, you know, for me, because I have small eyes and because they're kind of slightly downturned and because they're also hooded, for me, placement matters. Like where I place these shadows and create the shape that I want, to me, that's just as important as the blending aspect of it. All right, when I'm doing my makeup, I always have a spare palette. Usually it doesn't matter. It's just a palette that has some bronzers in it and a bone color shade, a lot of bone shade. So I'm using this. This is the Tarte Clay Play Volume 1, and I'm just going to grab a clean blending brush. This is a M573 from Morphe. Nice fluffy one. And I'm just going to kind of go over the edges of that shade, like a little brow bone shade, just to kind of catch the edges of that shade. And I'm also going to kind of drag it down a little bit. We'll just kind of soften the edges and also blend. I love these bone color shades because I feel like they're just such good blending tool shades, and they just kind of have a multi-purpose. You can brighten your inner corner, you can highlight your brow bone area, and you can also drag it down to, again, just kind of mesh with the edges and just kind of make everything kind of light and airy out here. Just kind of give that airbrushed look. Now I'm going to use this big fat one from Sigma, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to swirl on the inner corner, which is going to kind of soften. I want this definition on this inner socket, but this is kind of softening it up a little bit so it gives that nice fade, which is what I want. This is the, what number is this? 36, I think? 37. E37 from Sigma. Just kind of give it a nice little soft fade. All right, now we're going to move on to this shade right here. I'm going to go into the sequin shade here, and I'm going to start to kind of bring some more depth and dimension into this crease socket area here. I'm going to pick up a tiny bit. I'm going to stick with the same brush, the M433, because it's nice and flat. And I'm going to kind of hold the brush a little bit more horizontally this time and just kind of put in my little plug and play area. If I'm going to be building up like a darker shade, like the berry shade, I kind of like to start to kind of bring the shadows kind of also in this little outer section here. kind of give it a little bit of an upturn out here. Just kind of push that up a little bit and just kind of come down in here. I'm not really doing too much with this other than just kind of deepening up like this outer corner, because this is where I'm really going to kind of deepen up with that berry shade. And I might drag a little bit of it in super lightly, just a little bit into this inner socket, and again slowly just kind of dragging, kind of almost going straight across, kind of in the same kind of like alignment speaking, in the same alignment as the brow. Go back in with that clean fluffy brush that doesn't have anything on it, the 573 from Morphe, and I'm just going to kind of buff around these edges here. I like to kind of keep that little upturn in mind when I'm out working out here. Just kind of lifting it up and just kind of pointing that towards the end of the brow. It's just keeping everything going in this trajectory and just kind of lifting everything up. I'm going to put a little bit more of that light ivory bone shade and kind of swirl in that inner corner. I love to keep that inner corner bright and then to kind of have it outlined and defined. You can see right in this, right deep into this inner socket, you can see that I've got that kind of, that color coming kind of almost kind of straight across, almost kind of really hugging that socket and just really kind of hollowing out and giving my eye some shape. And then when you add that inner corner brightness, it just like makes the lid pop. So I'm going to go back into this palette and I'm going to grab my, I'm going to use this one, the Sigma cream color brush. Actually, this is, yeah, cream color. It's the E58. I don't know why I'm forgetting all my numbers today, because usually I know these by heart. But I'm going to take this shade. This is the Aura, and I'm going to use the metallic one right here and just kind of brighten up this inner corner. And actually there is something I do want to use today. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I've been kind of playing with this lately and I've really been enjoying it. It's a white. This is the coconut, the Morphe coconut pencil, and I'm just going to outline this inner socket area here that I always kind of carve out. You guys know I like a nice and light and bright inner corner, so I'm just going to carve out that inner socket area right here. It's kind of where I want it, light and bright. And then I'm going to, I knew I forgot this step. All right, now I'm going to go back in with that cream color brush and that metallic-y shade. I'm going to put that right on top of that. So we're just going to get this area nice and bright. Okay, so for this next step, I'm going to do kind of a wing, but I'm going to kind of pull it out and I'm going to connect it to like this actual crease line wing that I'm going to make here. And for this step, you can use a few different brushes, but you want it to be small and precise brushes. You can use a really small smudger, like this little Marc Jacobs smudger. You could use a little pointed taper brush like a Sigma E45 or the M507. I think the 506 is also pointy. You can use a small little brush like the E27 from Sigma, which is super, it's my new BFF as far as brushes goes. You can use a really flat, thin shader brush, and there's a whole bunch of those. You could use a pencil brush. You can use a flat definer brush. So I'm going to kind of toggle back and forth between a few of the different brushes, just whatever is easiest to work with. I'm going to start with the Marc Jacobs smudger. And then I'm going to go in and define it a little bit more. You guys will see the process. So I'm going to start with the matte of this berry shade here. And I'm just going to start by placing this shade, I'm just gonna kind of smoke it up a little bit here. I'm gonna grab a little extra. I'm gonna kind of put a little bit right into the crease as well. Right here, just kind of like up a little bit. I want this like above my natural crease here. And then I'm going to take this little wing and I'm just going to take it up a little bit higher. And I'm going to kind of connect it with that little fake crease that I put up there. And I'm just keeping this on this outer section right here. I'm mainly just kind of packing in that color here and just kind of flicking it up a little bit at the ends. And then I'm going to take this little tiny wing here and I'm going to extend it and elongate it and then kind of connect it to that little crease that I just put in. Pull this out a little bit too, just so I'm right here, I'm just kind of hugging the socket and I'm just going to kind of extend it out a little bit, and I am going to kind of blend all of that here, so that's going to be blended, but right now I'm just kind of creating the shape and getting the color down. All right, I'm going to go in with that clean fluffy brush, which isn't going to be clean anymore after I blend out this edges of this berry shade here. Just going to blend out the edges and just soften it. I'm going to go on top of that with probably that peach smoothie shade, maybe that orangey shade, I'm not sure. I'm just really going to soften out the edges here first. Kind of see where I'm at with this. And this color I'm not really bringing in, like I'm not going to those edges a little bit. I'm not going to bring this shade in. The shade is just gonna stay on this outer section, kind of lift it up a little bit. I'm gonna grab a tiny bit more of that orangey shade, and I'm just going to kind of tap a little bit over the edges of that berry shade. Just to give a nice gradient fade. And then I'm using the Sigma. This is the E27. I love this brush. A flat to finer brush, and I'm going to take this black shade. I'm going to kind of, I think I'm going to use, I'm not sure if I'm going to use the sequin one or the matte one, but now I'm going to go really super close to the lower, right, super close to the lash line. I think I'm going to go with the matte shade, and I'm just going to stamp this one, and I'm going to get that fade again. I love that color, that gradation, you know, that fade. So I'm going to do the black, and it's going to be a little baby wing here that's going to kind of fade into that berry wing here. But I'm not going to take the black and, you know, do, because that's going to be too, that's just going to like really overpower the look for me. That would be too much. I don't want that much of black. I love to use the black as that little, you know, to get that little wing, you know, I like that. But I wouldn't. And then I'm going to just, once I stamp it and I pull it out here a little bit to kind of get that cat eye, I'm going to bring it down and just connect it, that little tiny little baby wing. And then I'm going to stamp a little bit of this on the inner corner. Not a lot, just like a little, because I always just put like a little in the front here, and then I kind of make it a little thicker as I get to the back. But yeah. So that is what I'm going to do for this part of this wing here. You just want to make sure that you're stamping really, really close and it's kind of wiggling in. You really want to get as close to that lash line as possible, because that's going to add depth and dimension into the lashes. You can also tightline if you want to in this step. I do not, because I cannot stand that. I'm going to kind of smoke down here a little bit and just kind of smoke around that wing here. Some depth behind, you know, kind of like as insurance, you know what I mean? Just like a little bit of depth. So I'm going to grab the sequin shade and I'm just going to put that kind of on top of that berry shade. It's really not going to do anything other than provide like a little tiny bit of shimmer and just kind of make it cohesive, because I am going to do the glitter in the front part. So I'm just going to lay down a little bit. And then I'm going to wipe off this brush, because I'm going to use this for my shadow base. I'm going to use the NYX. This is the NYX shadow base in a white. And I have the P. Louise base in Rumor, and I've been waiting patiently for Morphe to restock the 0, because I really want that. You guys know that has me written all over it. All right, I'm just going to kind of carve out the crease area where I am going to be placing the glitter. Just kind of like right there, I'm not gonna put this all over the lid, because I'm not gonna do glitter all over. I'm just gonna do glitter in this like a front section right here. I need Petri dish for this step. I'm actually just gonna use this front section, and I'm using the ABH, this is the glitter adhesive. So yes, I could go ahead and put the glitter right on top of this shadow base, but I'm gonna add a little extra insurance. And I'm going to dab a little bit onto the little Petri dish right here and the brush. And I'm just going to lay a little bit down here. I just like to have that extra insurance, you know, it is glitter. And then I'm probably going to have to use I'm going to try this brush. Last time I had to go in with my finger, but I always end up remolding it anyway with the brush. Just because of the fact that I like to carve out that shape. I'm really kind of meticulous about that. And plus my fingers are really kind of fat anyway. So this seems to be working good, so I'll stick with this. I'm going to put a little bit of the lightest glitter, which is that shade over in the Aura row. It's kind of a silvery white. Looks like a multi glitter as well. I'm going to put that in the front. and then the berry glitter kind of through the middle. I'm not going to take it all the way over. It's kind of doing a half glitter, I guess, cut crease you could say. Okay, so we got that aura shade here, and then it's going to kind of gradient into this berry shade. You guys know I'm obsessed with anything that's an amplifier. You guys know how much I love my whites. In a palette, I love that. I'm going to go back with this coconut shade, and I'm just going to trace over the edge of where I just laid down the glitter. And then I'm going to go back to that aura shade, the metallic aura shade. And I'm using that same brush because it'll probably get some little bit of glitter flecks on there. All right, I think I'm gonna I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab just a tiny bit of that aura glitter and put on top of that metallic, because why not? You know, let's just be a little extra, because why not? I really have that gradient fade going on. Oh, it's so beautiful. I literally cannot breathe over here. All right, I'm going to go back to that first brush. I was using the M433, and I'm just going to kind of go on top and just kind of smooth out the lines. Oh, I can't breathe. This is stunning. All right. All right, just kind of touching up my wing here. These false eyelashes are on. They are pretty long. This is the extra long pair in Sexy. I think I used these ones. They're just some cheap ones that I got on Amazon. I'm gonna have to try those, either those Lily lashes or those velour ones. Those are supposed to be good, but you know. So I kind of take this out. I kind of don't, because my eyes are slightly downturned, I don't like really take them all the way down following the natural curvature here of this eyelid. I kind of attach it like a little bit, a couple millimeters above, so it kind of goes straight out and just kind of gives that little cat eye. I also ended up having to do a tiny bit of little tight lining underneath here just to add some more depth and dimension to the lashes, and just so that like that white part of your under eye doesn't show. And by the way, this is, can't even pronounce it, but it's the Cat's Meow. It's a MAC liner here. All right, I'm going to, this is the, I don't know, it's Modern Twist Kajal. I can't even pronounce it, whatever. Cat's Meow, MAC. All right, I'm going to take, you know what I need? Because I have to smoke, put a little black, because I don't like that like line right there. Like I don't vibe with that like line on the waterline. So I'm going to take got a little pencil brush here. This looks like a good one. This is a little crown brush here. I'm going to take a little bit of this black sequin shade, and I'm going to just kind of smoke a little bit over here, and then I'm going to connect it to the wing up here. And then I'm going to put that berry shade right underneath that. And I'm going to pop a little bit of this aura shade, just the sequin, or yeah, just the sequin portion of it right up on the upper brow bone. Right in there, just to kind of brighten it up. I'm going to add another little dab of that to the inner corner here. All right, wow. It's like a lot of makeup for me. Like, this is like really intense on the eyes. But that's okay. I'm digging it. I really love it. I love how it came out. And now with Christmas, I guess we'll be doing more of these kind of intense looks. But yeah, I love this orange and cranberry. I think it's just stunning. I love it. And it's just basic color theory. It's just, you know, makes blue eyes pop. I'm sweltering over here. I think I'm having a hot flash. I know, menopause is just so much fun. The words are. I'm going to use my Anastasia Dewy Set today. All right, I forgot to put in a highlighter, so we're going to use the Glowing to the Gods, the Ofra highlighter. You know, there's highlighters, and then there's the Glowing to the Gods highlighters, you know. These Ofra ones definitely qualify as that. This is in the shade Star Island. Let's see how beautiful it is. And you don't even need to like spritz your brush, but you can put some highlighter on and then you can spritz your brush or spray your face and it will just like pop even more. All right, that is it. That completes the look. I love it. I love how it came out. That's it. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next one.